you know, you met with the president today.
Yeah.
How'd that meeting go?
It was great. It was one of the best meetings that we've had. And I always hate to disappoint our would-be critics who are trying to find, cracks in our alliance. And what they find, like today, is a wall of granite, because the president is so clear. I mean, we have a common commitment. We don't want to see this fanatic regime in Tehran have nuclear weapons to threaten every American and to threaten the peace of the world and to threaten the existence of Israel. So we have a common goal, and it's going to be achieved either through diplomatic means or other means, but we're both committed to that. And that's the main headline that I would tell you from this meeting.
Do you believe that there are warring factions? Do you have hardliners and former loyalists to Ali Khamenei, the former supreme leader? And do you have more moderates? Do you believe there are moderates that would like a deal and a better Iran?
Well, I'm skeptical about the deal, and I say it openly, but the only way it would be achieved is if Iran understood these various factions there. I think they're not ideological factions as much as they differ on the assessment of how tough we are. That's it. Those who think that the president is very tough, and they should, they say, let's not confront this guy. And those who think, no, we can play America, they tend to be more demanding. But I think in the end, it's our resolve. It's our common resolve to make sure that Iran doesn't get nuclear bombs to threaten every American with. And I think the president is absolutely straight on this. And I really deeply respect him for that.
It seems like every time a deal seems somewhat imminent, those hardliners come in and they want to muddy up those waters and prevent that deal from ever happening. They'll attack ships in the Strait of Hormuz. They'll attack other countries in your region of the world, in the Middle East. They'll just find some way to muddy the waters. While I believe that the Iranian regime and the hardliners are evil, I don't believe they're stupid. They know you have an election. They know we have a midterm election. Why do I believe in my heart that they factor that in?
Well, if they do or not, they should know that if we are attacked, we'll respond with terrific force.
They've left you out of the last round of attacks.
Yeah.
Any reason, any theory why?
This is Pocket. It's how I make everyone think I'm so organized. I tap this button when a conversation starts. It records everything and creates organized notes, action items, and a full summary automatically. I use it in every meeting, every call.
Because of what I just said. Because of what I've just said. But I'll tell you one other thing. Look at this regime today. It's attacking everybody in sight. It's attacking Saudi Arabia. It's attacking Kuwait. It's attacking Bahrain. It's attacking the UAE and Iran.
These globalist organizations. And they don't have any authority. And you've got this lunatic mayor in New York thinking you may get arrested if you go to New York, which will never happen.
First of all, I'm going to New York.
Yeah.
I'd love to see you there when I go to the UN in September.
I moved to Florida.
Well, you can take a plane.
I'll come up, yes.
You can come. You've come to Washington, so you can go there, but I'm definitely going there. I'm going to speak the truth in front of this. There's just hate-spewing elected official who's pitting one group of New Yorkers against the others. He's turning them against New York Jews. I mean, what are we, in the 1930s? What is this, So much hate, so many lies. And the big lie is about the ICC, the International Criminal Court, so-called. That's a corrupt, evil organization. It had a prosecutor who issued arrest warrants against me and our former defense minister as war criminals, supposedly for starvation, starving the people of Gaza. We gave 1 million tons of food for them, but he decided to do that. And we didn't know. Why did he do that? He was going to come to Israel, and he said, we shouldn't rush to judgment. Israel has an independent judiciary. And then, bam, on the day that he's supposed to come, he cancels the visit. We didn't know why. Turns out that a few days before that, his chief of staff said, you know, there's this female member, employee of yours that is going to charge you with sexual assault. And this corrupt prosecutor, his name is Karim Khan, he decided the only way he's going to get out of this is to do, forgive the expression, to do a con job on the international community. Let me bash Israel. Let me cancel my visit, cancel all the good things I said about Israel's judicial capacity, and let's be careful about rushing to judgment. Rush to judgment, accuse the Prime Minister of Israel with war crimes, and that way I'll be protected by the anti-Israel crowd that populates the international court and a lot of these international institutions. Well, guess what happened? Another female employee came out, also charged him with sexual assault, and he's been removed, he's been fired. So he thought, you know, if I issue these charges, I'll be safe. Well, he issued the charges and he's not safe. But it still shows you how corrupt,
it's corrupt.
How corrupt and how vile this international court is.
But it scares me in this sense for you. You travel internationally.
Yep.
God forbid you had a medical emergency and you need to land. And you're about to land in a country that recognizes the ICC. It could complicate things. Do you worry about that?
Yeah, I think about it. You know, we have special forces around. You know, I served with them for 5 years.
No, the IDF is pretty tough. They have a very tough
Let's give them a new
reputation.
task. You know, yeah, of course. It's the corruption of the international system. It's an unelected bureaucracy that sits in The Hague that could arrest American soldiers because you don't recognize this corrupt body any more than we do. And they could say that the President of the United States is a war criminal, that American soldiers valiantly fighting next to us, shoulder to shoulder against the tyranny in Tehran, that they're war criminals. They could pick them up.
The 45,000 dead Iranians that were killed by the Iranian leadership, were they ever charged?
No, of course not. They don't charge them. They don't charge Hezbollah. They don't charge all these other terror programs. Yeah, supposedly they charge Hamas, but a guy who's already dead.
Yeah.
You know. So no, it's fake. It's one big fake.
All right, thanks for watching. Check out my new podcast, Hanging Out with Me, Sean Hannity. The big interviews, the debates you won't get anywhere else.